All right, welcome back to the podcast. Today I have a super special guest. We met last year, right? In person? Was it pre-COVID?
Might have been the year
Was it
before.
like late 2019? It's kind of
2019.
crazy, eh?
Yes.
Holy hell. Okay, so everyone, this is Mr. Mike Macdonald. Mike, introduce yourself. Who are you? Why are you here?
Okay, so
All
I'm an
that.
online fitness coach. I live in Toronto. For those who are like you haven't explained yet, I met John through the Online Trainer Academy that we are both a student or graduate of a coaching certification program. And yeah, just one day we just wanted to network, and we were both feeling a little lonely as like self-employed people do, I guess. Even more so now these days in COVID. But we met at a Starbucks and we hit it off, and we exchanged some ideas, and then we kept in touch here and there. And yeah, I saw that you were doing a podcast. Did I reach out to you? I think I just reached out to you and said like, yeah, if you want a guest. I've never been on a podcast before, or I think I have just one time. And I don't know, we haven't talked about it yet, but if you're in Clubhouse, but I'm doing Clubhouse a lot and I'm really enjoying it. And I don't see myself as like a motivational speaker or anything down the road, but I don't see the harm in like sharpening those skills along the way, because you never know when I'll need to be in front of people. So I'm just trying to keep that alive. So even if I was invited on a podcast that like meant no whatever to me, I would still like want to kind of do it just to kind of like keep those skills fresh of like just conversing and talking about fitness and networking. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, it's been a blast. And like, honestly, even from the first time we met and when we exchanged ideas, like I know your social media platform has like grown, and your kind of outreach is a little different.
Yeah.
You've kind of gotten out of your comfort zone. We've talked about that in the past too, which has been amazing to see.
Yes.
But yeah, I was on Clubhouse. I never really made the time to like contribute to so I just leave the app. I'm like, it's taking up space. Like I don't have it in me to like do Instagram, Facebook, and then podcast and write blogs. It was just like, you know what, I was gonna try it. Even same thing with TikTok. Like I have the app still, and like ideas come sometimes, but I never follow through. And I've seen you lately, you've been smoking those through TikTok and Reels. You kind of cross post or cross pollinate.
Yeah.
How's that been going?
Okay, so that's one thing that I want to talk to you about, because I was curious, like we spoke and we were like, or like the first time, like a couple months ago when we said, let's do this. And then we connected earlier this week to actually set it up. But like a few months ago, I was like, okay, we're going to talk on the podcast. You said there's no topic. And so I was like, okay, cool. Where's this going to go? And I feel like you would bring this up, and you are. And then so I was like, I wonder if he's on Reels, because I feel like I don't see Reels from you a lot on Instagram, and I don't have you on TikTok. I don't have many people in my real life or on TikTok, because TikTok doesn't have that like search through your contacts and add everyone you know feature. So I have to really manually go out and ask people, what's your TikTok, and add you. So I knew that I didn't think that you're on Reels a lot. But yeah, so you don't know this yet, but I love OTA, Online Trainer Academy. And so I've signed up with another coach, Brian. I don't know if you've heard of Brian Mark or B Mark Fit.
I might have come across that name at some point.
Yeah, so he lives in British Columbia, and so he's Canadian, and he is just kind of like OTA, where it's like I help you do online coaching, and I think he does have like a similar to OTA, like a level 1 and a level 2. Anyway, I won't bore the listeners with that detail, but one of the things that he says over and over and over is you need to be on TikTok, you need to be on Reels, and if you're not, you're like missing the boat. And I kept hearing that, and like, I'm gonna say I wasn't listening, but it really took like, I was starting to get addicted to his podcast because he drops a lot of value, and he would just say it over and over and over. And I was like, hey, like, I get it. I was in the shower. I'll never forget. I was like washing my hair. I was like, okay, like, I get it. Like, I'm going to get out of the shower, and the first thing I'm going to do is like, look into how his TikToks are doing, how his Reels are doing. And I started following some of his clients or students in his program, and their content is popping off. And then some of the things that he was saying are convincing, like he was comparing the reach that you get on Reels to the reach that you get in your stories. And so I sort of took the leap of faith. I'm in his program. It's blowing up. So I'm seeing success with that. But in regards to Reels and TikTok, he's so right, because when now that I'm posting Reels consistently, and my content is like, not to say the same, but it's not like I'm so much better at TikTok than I am with stories or anything. I'm just doing both. And my, for those listening, I have 6,000 followers. So it's like, it's good. It's not terrible. It's not a million, but of my 6,000 followers, and I don't know how this works, but like 200 to 400 people see my stories, which is not a lot. I don't know if it's just like not showing it to a lot of my followers or if a lot of people have muted me. I don't know. But my reels get like thousands of views, and they're from people that follow me, but they're also from people that don't follow me, because I think Instagram puts your reels of like people you don't know into their feed. So, and if you think about it, it makes sense because Instagram is trying to compete with TikTok, and like TikTok is its own thing. So it makes sense that Instagram will not punish you, but it's limiting your views on stories, and it's rewarding you if you use reels. So yeah, reels are just where it's at. You can kind of do, if you aren't like dancing, singing, like all that skits and stuff like that, I get it. You can do like more like informational and value content, just like post, like point to this on like a simple beat or something, or you can even just do a voiceover. But yeah, it's just, you'll just get more views that way. And so I've gotten a lot more clients just as a result of more people seeing my content.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's the one thing that's the reason I've kept TikTok on my phone, because I know like it's easier to grow on there once you gain some momentum and post. But I haven't, like, the way I make content is I'll sit down and I'll plan it out. But for TikToks, it's kind of a different beast in my eyes, or real, same thing. Yeah. So I have to be a little bit more creative. It's on video instead of just writing and images. Yeah. But I've noticed, like, when I went through kind of your account just to see, like, because I'm like, oh, he's putting more reels up. I'm like, what are the views are like? And they're in the thousands. Whereas like I have like 3,800 followers or something. My story max is like, if I had a good story day, it was like 200 people, 250 people, which is like nothing.
I know.
Right? It's terrible.
I know.
And then I had 2 reels do not bad. Like I think I put up like 3 or 4, and it was like 1,200, 1,500. I'm like, oh, okay. So like I really need to make the time to do that, because clearly it's helped. And I think, like, so what, you were always kind of shy to be on kind of video, right? What kind of, other than your new coach, what kind of, okay, I'm ready to do this now. How'd you get out of your comfort zone for that?
And it's funny because Brian he's talked about the uncomfortable, like you just have to sort of get out of your comfort zone and just do it. And so in the beginning, if you look at my first couple TikToks, I definitely was like, it's funny because if you know me, you know my personality is like, I'm enthusiastic, I'm gay, I'm like, I'm out there, I'll do like, I'm social. So like, it's weird. And I'm a dancer. So like, how am I not on TikTok already? Like, I don't know. It's vulnerability, you know, the whole story. Yep. So I think that's why I was willing to be that way in person, but not have it on the internet. I don't know. So I just knew, like, for my business, I just needed to do this. So one of the things, as he says, is like, and you know, with like OTA, like Amber, shout out to Amber, like queen of imperfect action. So just do it. You can always delete the post if you don't like it. So I was I was like, what am I comfortable with? Again, I'm not, you know, we just said this, I'm not comfortable with getting on camera. So one of the things he said is just repurpose old Instagram posts or whatever. So in my mind, you can do slideshows of images, like this is me when I was 10 years ago, this is me now, and like do it on a beat, like whatever. That's some creativity there, but you can do it boring. But I have some professional video footage that my photographer has taken of me in video. So it's like TikTok video format. So I used those videos, and the way that TikTok works, you put a video and then it's like what sound you want to put with it. And I just picked like a rap beat or like a hip hop beat. And then I put text over top. So it's like the things I overcame in my fitness journey. It was like anxiety, depression, insecurity, and they were like, they're just so, yeah, and I wasn't enjoying it. I was like, I hate that I have to be on this, and like, I don't know, just, so it was kind of, you could probably sense that in my content. It was just like kind of boring, kind of basic, but what it did was it got me actually just doing it, and it got me out of my comfort zone. And then one day I was scrolling through TikTok. Again, one of the things that Brian says is like intentional scrolling. So like use the app and eventually you'll find your groove. You'll find other people that are making content that you're like, oh, I could actually maybe try that. So one day I was scrolling through TikTok. Maybe, I don't remember if I was specifically like looking for something that I could try, but it was just like this old sounding like 1920s like saxophone, and it's like and then the person goes, baby, like it's that like old fashioned jazzy sounding whatever, and the voiceover is, if you can say baby without showing your teeth, you are a flirt. And then the person just goes baby, and it was like, that requires no like vulnerability. Like I don't have to like act or like dance or anything like that. All I have to do is go maybe.
Yeah.
And I tried it and I actually thought it was kind of cute or kind of funny. And it took 3 seconds to do. And so I was like, that's what broke through the brick wall for me. That was like, if I can do this, maybe there are other easy skits that I can do. And so I've been finding like 2 to 10-second voiceovers. There's like Nicki Minaj or like Wendy Williams or like, you know, my audience is gay men. So like those like powerful women, and they're kind of funny that they just do this like, oh, I can't believe you. Really? And so it's just like 3 seconds long and it's easy to synchronize that and memorize it like a script. So I just go like, oh, you really? And you just, and then you think, what caption, just like a photo of yourself, what caption would match that? Like, oh, you really? And then so I can't think of an example now for that specific script, but you just match it with like, you know, when a client doesn't show up to a check-in, it's like, oh, really? Like, so then you just like, boom, there it is. And so it would take me like a couple days to find one good idea, and then I eventually was doing one every other day, and then it was one a day, and now I'm doing 3 a day easy. Beautiful. So it was a slow growth of getting out of my comfort zone, but I will never forget that one day that I was like, I tried my first quote unquote skit and it broke. That's what really helped me break through the brick wall. It's like, awesome. Oh my God, I can do this. So
yeah, your captions are creative, like the ordering pizza versus salad one. That was funny with the
fridge. Yeah, it was Ariana Grande coming out on stage, I think.
Yeah,
thank you next, and it's just
solid.
like hearing, and yeah, like you don't have to. So again, like one of your struggles, like you don't have to be creative in the sense that TikTok, it's like you kind of have permission to copy other people, so you just you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I will often scroll through, and I will see like it was like, again, me showing up at a new guy's house instead of my ex's. And I'm like, oh, like, okay, so they're comparing like a bad thing to a thing they should be doing to use that sound. So I'm like, how can I do that as a coach? Or sometimes I will explicitly find like me opening my cupboard at 3 a.m. and getting an apple instead of a cookie, or like instead of a cookie. Yeah. And then so I'm like, I could do that too, but maybe instead of apple, I'll use salad, and maybe instead of pizza, and maybe I'll use the fridge instead. And so you don't have to always reinvent the wheel.
I like it. Yeah, no, that's good. Do you do you have time blocks to create this stuff? You have the intentional, like, this is my TikTok scrolling time, this is my coaching time.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I will say that throughout the day, you know, when you're like, you know, you have a Zoom meeting like that or like a podcast, and it's kind of draining, and then after you're like, but you like don't want to take a break from work. You're like, you know, if I'm really productive, I should keep working, but it's easier said than done. So I find that throughout the day, when I feel like I need to quote unquote take a break from work, but I know that I should be working, it doesn't take a lot of brain power to intentionally scroll through Instagram, because through TikTok, you're just scrolling. But I know that when I'm scrolling, I'm really looking for sounds that would work for me, but it is fun at the same time, and it's like brainless activity, right? And then also at the end of the day, like, you know, if I work from 9 to 8 p.m. or whatever, like a longer day or a typical day, and then I play video games at night, or maybe you watch TV, and then you're also scrolling through social media. It's also right before I go to bed. I know you're not supposed to be on the phone before bed, but like it's also at the end of a work day when I'm done work, I'm tired, and I just want to lay on the couch and scroll through social media. So it's throughout the day in pockets of time when I need a break, and then at the end of the night as well. And then sometimes when I'm like in a parking lot, like when I'm picking someone up and I'm just waiting, I'm just like, okay, well, nothing else to do.
Just get some inspiration, to get the creativity flowing. I find that when I'm like on podcasts, or like especially my group calls with my clients, like I have this like high after, because like, not that I'm acting, but you have to kind of be on as a coach when you're on a call. If you're talking to someone else, like you're recording a video, you got to be kind of on. Yeah. So I find like once the Zoom meeting closes, or once the coaching call is done, I need to find something else to do, because my energy is like at an 11 still.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I actually get like, not this, I use like ADHD, but I find like I'm really like, I'm vibrating after a call, and I'll literally like hang up the Zoom meeting with you, and then I'll like, and I'll pace around the house, and I find that too, but then I crash.
Yeah, me too.
Then I go boom. Once that energy, like I ride that vibration, and then I crash.
But it's hard. Like, it's not like you're going to stop yourself, right? If you're feeling that, I mean, why not just ride, I'll call it ride the high, because nothing else to talk about. But what's, so talk me through, because I mean, this past year has been crazy for everyone, but I'd love to know what your, like what a day in life looks like for you.
Over the last year or at the moment?
Yeah. Well, like now, last year, I mean, the average, let's say, because I mean, we've
Sure.
been in
Well, I can
lockdown
just tell
for
you from a big picture perspective, and like full transparency, we can talk about like income level. So like when COVID hit, a fifth of my income was still online coaching, and I would say like 20 and 80% was still in person. And I was like slow growing my online coaching because there was really no urgency. I was already had a lot of in-person clients, and we never thought the world would be what it is right now. So I was just like living my life, slowly growing my online coaching. A lot of my income was coming from in person, but I was also busy with gym, dance, and friends, and just life stress and whatever. So when COVID happened, I was only making like $800 to $1,000 a month. So I had like 8 to 10 clients that I was charging $100 a month for online coaching plus tax or something. So then obviously I was like, okay, I'm making only $1,000. And then so admittedly there was like a month where I was like, thought the world was ending. It was just too much pressure. Like, what's going on? I really felt like before the window of opportunity, everyone needing an online coach, I thought no one, like, how insensitive would it be for me to advertise get your dream body when the world is ending? We're all like being told to stay inside. There's a deadly virus, and like people are still trying to figure out what the hell like to make of anything. So I felt, I'm not saying I fell into a bit of depression, but also just pressure. I'm just gonna like just chill. Like I've got some savings, so there's really like I'll just like relax for a few weeks and really decide whether or not I want to like continue with this coaching or do something else. Like what am I gonna do? And then I was talking to Amber. She's like, no, limiting belief. Like you need to get over that. And so it took some convincing, and I finally did. So it took from March 2020 when COVID happened, I was making $800 to $1,000 a month. And then I was making up to $4,400 a month is what I peaked at in August. And it was a very slow growth. Like when you look at my PayPal, it's just like every month I was making like $500 more. So it was working. But then I found that I peaked. And so I had like 20, 25 clients or something like that. And I just couldn't get any more. Maybe because I was like doing the same things. I was only doing Instagram posts, only doing stories. I was running an Instagram ad. I think I was spamming potential clients more than I should have, just copy pasting the script that I was using. So I was doing a lot of the right things to get me to that point, but I was not doing a lot of things that I should have been doing, or doing a couple things wrong as well. And then I think same mental health again, but it just like, again, I peaked in terms of my productivity. And then I think I slowly went from 4,400 down to half of that in January of this year. So I just like started not really like losing clients in terms of just a client drop off once in a while in terms of retention. They were happy, but they're like, I think I can do things on my own. And again, I wasn't putting on new clients because I wasn't feeling motivated and whatever. And for some of the months I was on CERB because I did qualify. It's hard to even understand if you qualify. I think with the rules being so confusing. Yeah. You do agree the rules are really confusing?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I just like, I applied, and if you tell me that I didn't qualify, then sure, I'm just going to give everything to my accountant. She'll tell me when I did qualify and when I didn't. Happy to pay it back if I don't qualify. But so then, so January, February this year, I started following a couple trainers. You just follow trainers in your area that make good content, and you never know if you network with them or you just follow them for inspiration or whatever, good vibes. And one of the guys, his name is Eric Chang, and he lives in Markham. And I really liked a lot of his content. Just his content was good, like the visuals, and his captions really good. Like little things, like he started bolding and italicizing fonts in his Instagram captions. I never really learned how to do that yet. And he was always posting when he got a new client, he would post. Do you notice I'm doing that too? Actually, you do that too. New client.
Yeah, I was doing the welcome to the team posts. Yeah.
So he was doing that. He was doing lots of things. I was like, oh, like that's smart. Not to say I thought I knew everything, but I do have a social media background. So I thought I was doing it really well, but he was doing lots of things that I wasn't doing. And then one day he shouted out Brian Mark, who I'm talking about, one of my new coaches, on his podcast. He shouted out Brian's podcast on his Instagram story. So I checked out the podcast because I'm like, this guy seems like he's a client of this person. But I went to Brian's Instagram. It's like a lot of stuff. But then one day I decided to listen to the podcast because I'm a big podcast person, listening to podcasts. And oh my God, just the amount of value that you get from one podcast alone was crazy. And I would just binge listen to them all day. And then I told you the story about before, how I basically was just listening to podcasts. He was saying TikTok Reels. And I was like, damn, like this guy seems to be really in touch with what to do to grow an online coaching business. So then I've been blowing up honestly since since February 28th. So the last day of February, the first day of March is when I signed up with him. And yeah, no, I've just been booming because I feel like I've just been putting into place all of the things that he said. And I'm someone kind of like, with clients, they say, once I see results, I feel motivated. So now that I feel like I'm seeing success, every time I get a new client, I'm like even more productive. And it's just been new client every other day, or like many new clients in one day. And so I'm just really riding that. And then so that's where I'm at now, working all day, every day, and feeling really good. So I'm in a really good spot. But the last thing I'll say is so here and beyond is our future, like the window of opportunity, if I may, for an online coach, or for really any small business owner working at home. I know it's probably easier said than done if you have kids, or if you're also teaching, you have other things going on. But if you're in a spot where you can just focus on, and this is the advice I have to clients too, if you can just focus on weight loss, like whether you're on CERB or you're working from home, or you have a small business and you're doing that, and you have really nothing else that's complicating your life, you'll never have this opportunity again to just be home all day, every day, and focus on the thing that you should be doing, whether even if it's a hobby, learning a language, this and that. I know easier said than done, especially with mental health and stuff like that compiled on too, with not being able to see people and do the things that you love. But I'm just really trying to work as hard as I can for as long as I can, really long days, working as hard as I can, pacing myself, because when restrictions are lifted, if ever, I feel like I will regret it if I don't. Like, I will basically want to go out and see my friends at the park and drink and go see them
and not work.
And not work. So I should do that now while that's all I can do. So that's where I'm at.
100%. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, man. That's quite the roller coaster of a year. And for me last year, like whenever I look up on my calendar, like 2020 was one of the best years of business I actually had, which is crazy because April of last year was the worst business month I think I had since I started. And I was shook. I'm like, what is going to happen for the rest of this year? We didn't know what COVID was, but I don't know if it was Craig Ballantyne or Bedros or someone in that group. I don't know if you've listened to those guys before.
You told me about Craig.
Yeah. Craig is a former coach of mine. I don't know if it was those guys, but regardless of what the global scenario is, there's always going to be people who are still going to focus on the goals they had pre whatever else is going on, right? People still have shit they want to accomplish and stuff they want to do. And myself included, it's really easy to kind of glue yourself to, especially not Twitter, but Twitter and the news, and in Facebook can get really bad too, depending on who's on your feed, of everything that's going on all the time. And while it's good to be up on current events and be involved, I think people are on there too much. I think there's not enough internalization and focusing on ourselves, because maybe it sounds selfish. But I think, like you said, this is a perfect time. And through last year as well, you won't get another opportunity like this where you're home for so long. Yeah. You can perfect any recipe you want. You can exercise for as long as you want, depending on the situation, obviously. Right. I mean, and with kids, it's difficult with them around, but you get more chance to bond with them. And I can teach my little ones how to work out and be safe in the gym or whatever it is. Yeah. It's all I think how you adapt your mindset to the situation. Yeah. And I feel like those who have adapted, okay, this is going on, but this is my world and I can still control this, they've seen results. And especially the clients that I've seen over the past year. I've had longer retention for a lot of people because they're zoned in, they know what they want to accomplish regardless of what's going on. And everyone faces their struggles with gyms opening, gyms closing and all that stuff. But I feel like it comes down to controlling what you can and focusing on that as much as possible.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's an equal amount of stress. It's so complicated and it depends on who you are and how you handle being home all day, every day. But it's you have the less stress, if I may, of commuting and all of the complications of life of in the previous world, and then hopefully the post pandemic world of literally everything you face when you leave your house. Leave your house, get in your car, the traffic, the commute to work, seeing your boss that you don't like, or whatever, your coworkers, and or if you teach at a school, the kids, and then seeing your friends and the drama with that, and then this and that. And so all of that is minimized, and now you're at home, but obviously there's additional stress of just the mental health of being at home all day, every day. So if we just say the negative's gone and then so maybe it's back, or for me, I'm actually handling being at home all day, every day fine. I'm a gamer. I've been dancing at home. I bought workout equipment. I'm focusing on my business. I have a boyfriend now, and I'm still talk to my friends like through text all day, every day. So I'm handling it well personally, but I know it's easier said than done. And for some people, different personalities. But gosh, where was I going with this? It really is your time to just focus on, the stress of, you have all the time now in the world. You have more time to sleep. You have more time to prepare your meals. You have more time to work out. Like you don't have the time, the energy and the stresses that I was referring to before. You don't have that because you're all, again, at home. And again, it's different on the person, but the time of the commuting and the time that you were spending with your friends and the time that it took to get to the gym. And for me, dancing no more. And all the things that you were doing now. When people said that they didn't have time to work out now, that excuse is not there.
100%.
Again, I say this as a not single guy, I have a boyfriend, but like as a person who lives by themselves, it might be easier said than done with kids, or especially to teach them, or some other things that you're dealing with. But I'd say for like somewhat the average person-ish, you don't have that commute anymore. You don't have all the stresses that you had when you were leaving the house. You're probably getting groceries delivered or something now, or you're just going to one store. You're not shopping at the mall anymore. So you really do have a lot more time and a lot more energy to focus on the shit that you said that you wanted to do before.
Absolutely. It's your environment and how you respond to it, I think, too. Because like I remember last year during the pandemic, my wife was still working a couple days a week at a daycare because they're still open. And like every day, because we weren't comfortable having her on the TTC obviously during COVID, right. And she was pregnant, so there's no chance. But like I had to drop her off and then go home 30 minutes each way, then go pick her up and come home. And like the stress of the traffic alone, I couldn't wait. And once we decided to move out of the city, we were so happy. Like I'm like, I can't handle the stress of this anymore. And now that we're here, like we do like going out and stuff, and like there's things in Toronto we'll miss that we don't get here in Barrie, like Toronto Marlies games and different malls that we had there. But at the same time, there's more time for us to A, save money, B, spend more time home with the kids. And there's a baby now too. So like, we're not really bringing the baby that much out anyways.
Right.
And then like my wife's like zoned in on her health and fitness now. Like she's in an amazing routine that she didn't have before. Cause with work, like you're up at 7, you get home at 7. And like you have no time for anything. Right. So yeah, that's true. Controlling the stressors, like you remove some of them, but then some other ones kind of creep in.
Of course. Yeah. I'm gonna be mindful of the people who are listening that are like, but yeah, you're like, you live by yourself and you were on CERB for a while and you're this online coach, so you can do your job online. But so I know there are some things that might make it more complicated for some people, but I mean, it was complicated for me. I was doing 80% of my businesses in person, so I adapted.
I was going to say too, as an entrepreneur, man, like we don't have a boss to tell us when to stop working or when we can stop. Like we can work as much as we want or as little as we want, but that's not always a good thing. Right. And I know a lot of people and some of my clients, like their office is at home now. So like their work is right next to them all day long. So I find a lot of people are getting into this trap of, okay, I'm going to wake up and work because I have more work to do. So that's kind of been like a stress takeover where they're working like 10-hour days from home, whereas in the office, they'd be working 8, but then they commute and now they don't have that. So that's tough as well too.
But that is a choice. That is the choice they are making. I'm like, I've gotten a little bit more tough love. I don't know where this is coming from. One of the head coaches in my new little coaching academy is very tough love. And, love Amber, she's all about empathy. So I feel like it's not her fault, but I think I became too empathetic. So I think I started enabling my clients to be like, I understand, like that must be tough and And then you have Cole, one of my new coaches, who's very tough love. So I'm really trying to find that balance. Amber was never afraid to tell me, I don't talk to her as much anymore, but when I was, she was not afraid to tell me straight, like, no, you said you were going to do one post every day, like, what's going on. But now, people, if you want to get it done, like if they were working 8 hours a day now and they're working 10, like you made that choice. If your health and fitness is really that important to you, you can make it happen. You're not commuting anymore. You don't have all that stress of leaving your house. So, I lost everything overnight too, and I made it work. So if I can do it, you can do it too. Yeah,
you've been thriving. I'd love to know, speaking of thriving, I want to switch gears just a little bit. Sure. You got to tell me and the audience how you stay so friggin' lean all the time, because I feel like you've been lean since the time I met you till now, and that's been like over a year.
Okay, thank you. Maybe like, yeah, no, I'm not afraid to say that, like, not say that's not true, but I definitely am not as lean as like a year or two ago, give or take. Like, I think what's it called? Like, I not lose weight and gain weight really quickly, but I feel like I snap back after a week of letting myself go. I gain, like, I feel like a little bit of a roll, and then like if I really tighten up, I get lean again really quickly. So I feel like I the pendulum swings very quickly with me. But I don't know, I think it's just, I am a very active person. Even like I am working, honestly, like I'm getting up at 7 and I'm working till midnight, and I take breaks throughout the day, but I am constantly like, I tell my clients, like, I run around and I run my mouth. Like, I'm just a very hyperactive person. So like I'm constantly cleaning, I'm constantly like making trips to the washroom, getting water. So I'm, you know, and that's one of the pieces of advice we give clients is get up and walk around. So I'm doing that. I do get my workouts in at home. I do go for walks with friends. I do work out at home. I bought equipment. I have an exercise bike that I bought. And then I'm not much of a huge food person. Like, I don't eat food in excess. I've always been very like peckish, and I eat to survive. And I think I'm very mindful of what I'm eating, in the sense that like I've always like obsessively centered my meals around protein, as we should, like, prioritize protein.
Yep.
So whenever I eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it's like there is going to be 50% of it is going to be protein. It's like eggs and egg whites for breakfast and avocado, and then for lunch and dinner, it's a big chicken breast and vegetables. So I eat no carbs throughout the day, and carbs are not evil, but I know for me personally, I'm going to eat carbs in the evening when, again, I'm a gamer and like playing games. So if I eat a cup of rice for lunch and dinner, it's like 300 calories per, I think, cup of rice of all carbs. If I ate a cup of rice for lunch and dinner, and then I also ate the carbs that are like, what is it, a non-negotiable for when I'm gaming or watching TV, that's too many carbs, in the sense that it would take my calorie intake over. I wouldn't be like 40% protein, 30% fat, 30% carbs. It'd probably be like, you know, 30, 30 or 30, 20, 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
Too many carbs for me. So yeah, I just limit my carbs all day, and I eat all my carbs in the evening. Because, you know, there's no carb after 8 p.m. or no eating after 8 p.m. Myth. That's a myth. So yeah, I think I just save all my carbs for the evening. And so I still eat the same amount of carbs that one would if they were eating them all day and in the evening. And I just try to eat as clean as I can. And then I know what foods that I can eat in excess when I want to, quote unquote, binge, like cucumbers, or like gum, or Diet Coke, or like hot sauce. Like, all these things are like 0 to no calorie foods that I feel like I can eat an unlimited amount of, and not feel guilty. So
What I'm looking forward to, watermelon in the summer.
Oh yeah,
watermelon's like the best diet food. Like, you can eat like a whole watermelon and barely touch your carbs for the day.
Yeah. And another hack that I had, I can't find it because I like during one of my moves, I put it in a box and now I don't know where it is. So I think I have to buy another one on Amazon, is the popsicle, make your own popsicles. And so I used to blend my own fruit. Like, I just put all the frozen fruit in a blender, and then it would make it liquid. And I would just pour the liquid fruit in the popsicles. And then you're eating real fruit popsicles instead of like the real fruit ones from the store.
Yeah, I'm going to make some protein popsicles this summer. That seems a good idea.
What kind of protein do you
I'll just put vanilla protein blended in with fruit.
Oh, you could do that, or egg whites. Like, you probably wouldn't taste the egg whites. Is that
it doesn't sound you can try, like, I'll try it. I'll guinea pig.
I put egg whites in my protein shakes and you don't taste it. It's like, it doesn't have a taste.
No, it doesn't.
I feel like you could put it in your popsicles.
That sounds really good.
Told a friend, they'd be like, "Oh, you're eating egg," but like,
you would never know. No,
you're not gonna taste it. Yeah.
It's like people who say they don't like, was it onion? And I'm like, you can't taste it depending on the onion. It's really, I'm like, you can't. To me, you can't taste it. I don't know. If people don't like onion, they see onion, they'll freak out. But it's just a mind thing.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. Like, your needs through the roof. It must be, which is impressive, because again, you are at home. Like, most people's NEAT, I think, dropped off the map because they're walking to the bus, walking to the office, walking to lunch, whatever. Now they're just like, okay, I got up from bed. Now I'm on the couch all day long. Like, and their NEAT is like 2,000 steps a day, which is super low.
I just get up frequently. Like, I'm sitting here after this podcast, I'm like, oh, my bum hurts, and I'll get up and I'll walk. Like, I just feel like I get up every 30 minutes to walk to the kitchen and like to get water, or to dump my coffee that's sitting here, or to go to the bathroom, or to like, I'm just bored. I need to just get up and do something. So And then one thing I didn't mention is I got my exercise bike because I was lacking cardio. I was like, okay, I'm not a runner. So a lot of people, you know, put a mask on, run safely, like it's government mandated exercise, that's okay. But I'm not much of a runner. So I kind of was nervous. I'm like, I'm used to riding my bike to and from the gym and dancing, riding my bike to and from dance. And just the neat that you're just walking around, and we're not doing that anymore. So I saw another coach in around Toronto, up in Markham, Eric's friend, has an exercise bike, and I said, which one is that? It's from ASOM. It was only $400. I was like, sweet, like that's a good investment. So I ordered it, and I've just been pedaling like I will put it in front of my TV here, and I will just pedal. And I was on my phone, and I was just, again, like TikToks or like Instagram or not, just when watching TV. But then I was like, oh, so Amber, Amber has a treadmill desk.
Oh, does she?
Yes, I think she has. It's like a tray that you put across, and it goes on the handles. And I think she said like you can safely do it at like 3% incline at 1.5 miles per hour. So I was like, oh, she's done it. So then I went to Amazon, and the bike desks are way too, there's actually very limited number of models, and they're very expensive, like $600.
I can bet, yeah.
So I went to Home Hardware, and I bought a rectangular piece of I won't get it because we're on the podcast, it's across my house, but it's a rectangular piece of wood like this. And then a squat rack has like the ones that you can move around, the two pieces are in it, and then it extends up depending on the thing, and you put the pin in where you want it. So, and then the tops are the clips that look like this. So the wooden board goes across the two things, and I extended it at the height. Like I obviously had to experiment. And so now I can sit at my bike in front of my TV with my laptop on the rectangular sheet of wood that I bought. And I bought like a rod. It's really complicated, but like I'm not gay with tools.
MacGyver, man.
Like this is like something, my dad is a contractor, he'd be so proud. But I basically made my own bike desk, and so now I put my bike desk in front of my TV, and I'm on my laptop. I also made a caddy for my bath. So I work in my bath now too.
Wow, that's dedication. You really are working your ass off right now. That's awesome, man. Yeah,
every day. I don't stop.
It shows though, right? Like, I mean, you said you're since March 1st, like business has kind of skyrocketed again, and no signs of slowing down for you, which is great. Which is great to see. Yeah, for sure. Awesome, man. One more thing I want to talk about for sure. How long have you been in the industry, and have you always kind of trained LGBTQ men?
So I think I moved to Toronto in 2014. It's 2021. I think since 2016 or 2017. So I had a digital marketing background, and I worked in an office here in Toronto. So I go back one more. Grew up in Brantford, had a job in Hamilton, wanted to move to Toronto. When I moved to Toronto, I got a digital marketing job because I was like, move to Toronto, this is what I want to do here, as I was doing it. And I had a boss who I hated. He was like the worst person ever. And so I felt like I didn't want to work in an office anymore, because it was like the boss that I had before him was great, but it was a lot of like tracking my time and office politics and like booking a meeting and the meeting being a waste of time. I was like, I don't want to work in an office anymore. I've also always been an entrepreneur. So, and then I was just, didn't want to work in an office, didn't want to work for someone, and wanted to be on my feet and whatever. And then so I actually got let go because this boss could probably tell that I didn't like him. And it was just like a mutual feeling. He's like, I feel like you're not a good fit. I'm like, agree. So I got let go, and I got walked out of the office. And that night I put an ad on Facebook, back when I think it was easier to advertise on Facebook. And like Pals or Buns, those Facebook groups?
I've heard of Buns. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you barter things.
Yeah.
But there is people who like, not spam, but people will drop like a promotion for their small business or whatever in the helping zone. The miscellaneous Pals has like 20,000 people all around Toronto, and it blew up. And I got like 170 people. I think it was, I'll never forget that number. It was like 170 comments. Me, interested. So I was bringing people to my condo gym in Liberty Village, and just like meeting them in the lobby, bringing them up to my condo gym. There were like 2 or 3 other people in the condo gym working out, seeing like a trainer with a random stranger. And I got away with it for like a full 8 months to a year. But then one day I got a letter in my, like underneath my door of my unit in that building saying, we've gotten complaints, you can't do that starting now. And I was like, boom, lost all my business.
Good.
Like, yeah. So I freaked out. I think I went to a few of my clients that lived in Liberty Village. I went to their condo gyms. But I felt like I just, from that perspective of working at home and bringing people to my condo gym and having no overhead. So to answer your question, 2016, 2017, that's what I was doing then. And then so I didn't want to go from condo gym to condo gym. I just imagined driving around the city and being stressed and it being really draining. And it actually wasn't, because that's what I ended up doing for the longest time. But I went to Equinox. So I was a trainer at Equinox for about 10 months. And I learned a lot and met a lot of amazing people. But unless you work up through the ranks through grinding, the pay system is like tier 1 is where you start, you make no money and you have to live literally like almost find a spot to sleep overnight, like in the staff room, in order to be up so early. And then, because you think 9 to 5, so you have to be there before 7 to train people, and then you have to be there after 5, but then you also have to be there throughout the day. Wow. So you live there and you make no money. But if you can stick it through that, then you get up to tier 2 and like you start making some more money. Tier 3 and tier 4, you're laughing. But by the time I just wasn't willing to live there, because there were also some other things that I didn't like about that place, but it was great overall. If you know, I learned a lot and it was a great stepping stone. And I didn't really like, I never, none negative from it. So I eventually quit and said, you know what, the actually going from condo gym to condo gym seems more appealing, and it's probably easier than what I'm doing now living at this place. So I went back into the entrepreneur role and advertising myself on Facebook and Instagram like you and I do. And clients would find me and said, yeah, I live at City Place, or I live at Bloor Street. Like, this is my condo gym. So I would go, I'd meet them in their lobby, I'd see their gym, I would get them as a client, and I would just look at my calendar and be like, hey, Liberty, City Place, Bloor, back to Liberty. And then that was my day. And I was doing that for 2 or 3 years. And then, you know, when you're a personal trainer on Facebook, you get ads, Online Trainer Academy, free up your time, scale your business, It's exhausting. And I was like, I am exhausted. So I downloaded one of OTA, Online Trainer Academy's like free founding client challenge. I tried it and I was like, oh my God, this is a perfect blend of my skills. I'm a digital marketer, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a personal trainer. Like, this is exactly for me. Because at that point I was like, I had more digital marketing experience still than I was a personal trainer. Probably equal, actually. So then I gave it a shot. I did it. And then probably 6 months to 8 months in, I met you. And then here I am.
Love it. Yeah, man. I did that with in City Place one time. I dropped an ad, or I'm looking for a post, I think, in a City Place group. And I actually had 5 or 6 City Place clients. And it's cool because, again, it's like the same neighborhood, but then like it's super stressful. So I worked out of Fortis Fitness, which is like 10 minutes from City Place. But I have to get there through the Don Valley, through the Gardner traffic, and then find a parking spot in City Place, and then go to the different City Place buildings. And I'm like, you know what? Like, this is like, I love the clients, but I can't do this anymore. Like, with City Place kind of all over. So that's when I just stuck to like anyone that asked me to go to their gym. I'm like, you know what? I will not, but I online coach. So I always just transfer them there. But it's interesting that like OTA got you on a Facebook ad back, I guess it was 2018, 2019 then.
About that, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like 2018? Yeah. Whereas like when I first started this entire like personal training kind of journey for myself, like I knew online training was like the end goal for me, just because when I jumped into personal training, I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to last at a big box gym for long, because it's not where I want to be for a long time. I know the pay shit, and you meet a lot of people, but you're not really in control of a lot of things. And the one I worked for, like, I learned how to train people on the floor, and I met a lot of amazing people, but I had no marketing skills, no sales skills, no nothing, because they did everything for you.
Right.
So then OTA really changed the game for me there, where it's like, okay, this is how you find people online and train them online. And it's been a journey, but I love it. Like, I can't complain. Obviously I can stay home, be with my kids, and coach people and help them get in shape. It's been great.
Yeah. Only ironic thing for me that I'm trying to, again, find that balance is, I didn't want to work at a computer. It's more like I didn't want to work at an office with other people and have a boss who is like forcing me on this software and like building me email. But anyway, I was on a computer, and I didn't want to be on a computer. I wanted to be on my feet in a gym. And now as an online coach, I'm on the computer 24/7. So I'm trying to find the balance of like, you know what, Mike, you are in charge of you are in charge of your destiny. So now that I've recognized that I am on a computer 12 hours a day now, well, again, more because of COVID, but I need to find that balance of like, how can I be back on my feet like I was? So then I think that's when I got the exercise bike idea. I was like, I can at least pedal while I'm doing this. Like I can do that. And so now I'm going for walks. You should like leave your house once a day. Absolutely. And when I go for a walk, I'm still on my phone. And so I'm like, I'm trying to be on my feet and working at the same time.
That's interesting. Yeah. I actually, whenever I go for a walk, it's phones at home. I'm like, I can't like, cause I need the disconnect time or else I get too zapped in with everything. I'm not good at intentional scrolling. I'll admit that. I get too lost in just the thumb going.
Yeah.
So I do have to set time blocks for that, but you seem to be like, you're on point with that sort of thing.
Ish. Yeah. It's not like me, to be honest. I'm usually not this focused, but I think I do work well under pressure. And I am really seeing this, like, I don't know, the vaccines are coming. I'm registered. Like, I won't get excited though until I actually get the shot in my arm. Even then, I don't even care. Like, I won't. I've started to feel numb to like positivity and hope. It's like not the dark feeling. I'm fine, but I will not be excited until I'm like shaking my ass in the club. So I really do. I was seeing like maybe 2 or 3 months from now, maybe things will be open. And this 2 or 3 months until then, I need to be working 24/7 because the moment that things are lifted, I will think of all the times that I was not working over the past, like currently, and I'll wish that I was.
Yeah,
so
it's a good mindset to have. Yeah, I kind of put my head down to any kind of projections they're having. I'm always assuming the worst, and nothing's changed for me work-wise other than this is what I have on the horizon. This is the work I have to do. If we end up opening up, cool. The family and I will make plans to do so. If not, I mean, this is life. So that's how I'm kind of taking it day by day.
When things do open up, I've, like Amber with her bare ass minimums. So I think when things do open back up, and if I am going back to my routine, like ideally where I'm at the gym from 4:30 to 5:30, now I'm thinking of like the good life time slots, 4:30 to 5:30, and then dancing from 6 to 9 and seeing friends after, either way. I'm thinking, oh, if I go back to what I was doing and I leave my house at 4:30 to go to the gym and then do my nighttime activity, whether it's dance or meeting friends, I'm now working like whatever time I get up, let's say 6, 7, 8, 9 until 3 or 3, 4. And so I can't expect myself to have the same output. So what are the things that I'm doing now? 1 post per day, 1 to 3 TikToks per day. What am I doing now that like, what can I cut out? And what are my bare ass minimums that I will have in place then? So I think it will go from 3 TikToks down to 1. I'll still do 1 post every day. I'll still be active on my stories. But yeah, I've already thought ahead to what my work routine will be like post pandemic.
That's smart. Yeah, being proactive. Have you ever done like any block content creation, like write 7 posts in a couple hours or?
I have, and like Amber's advice, and it's really good advice, and I think it worked for me for a moment. But I also think that sometimes when she had also a punishment thing. So there was a time when I needed accountability so bad that I said, like, what should we do? And she's like, well, in the past I have had, or a client has donated to a charity they didn't want to donate to, or something like that, if you don't get the work done. But I found that that hurts me is punishment if you don't get this done. And also time blocking is too much pressure. Because if 11 and my calendar says Instagram posted 11, but like after this podcast, I'm just drained and I feel like I can intentionally scroll, but I can't write, then I crumble. So what's worked for me is not time blocking, but just a list of bare ass minimums. And as long as I cross off 1 post, 1 to 3 TikToks, following 100 people on Instagram to build my network, as long as these things are done by the end of the day, it does not matter what time I do them. It doesn't even matter if I do nothing from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. If I can cram it all in from 6 till bed, then that's fine. But time blocking stresses me out a little bit.
It's not for you. Yeah, which is interesting. For me, I've learned to I have 3 to 5 things that I have to get done on whatever given day. Like Mondays are client check-in days. As long as I get my client check-ins done, and I think just DMing people who are following me or posts, just a few things, I'm good. Yeah. But when it comes to content, so December 3rd, my baby was born. So my second born. So I knew in December, I'm not writing.
Right.
I'm not gonna be able to write a damn thing. I'm not gonna have the brain power. And then in February we're moving. So I'm like, okay, during all this time, I'm gonna be so busy with other things other than taking care of clients and home stuff. I'm not gonna have the brain power to work. So it was really nice that I got complimented. Like nobody knew the shitstorm that life was at the time because my content was still just flowing out there. That's where
I remember
love.
you making a post. I remember your post saying like, I forget how you worded it, but you're like, I'm doing a lot right now because I know that I won't be able to when the baby's born.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I love it. It's tough, but I mean, a trainer's secret for those listening, like content gets recycled all the time. Like I've been making content for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Posts that did well 3 years ago are going out today and no one would know because it's the same message, right?
So the last thing I do every day is my post, because if that's the thing that I don't get to, whether it's procrastination or I just put too much on my plate during the day, I can always rely on a repost. So there are, again, I don't time block. That's stressing me out. Again, said it doesn't work for me. But I have noticed that intentionally scrolling is also something that I should do because I need constant inspiration. So I've noticed, okay, I can do that throughout the day when I need breaks, and I can do that before bed. A post is the last thing I should do because I can always rely on a repost. But being active through my stories, you have to do that at 7, 12, 3.
Yeah.
I'm forced to do that once in a while. And then uploading TikToks. So for you not on it yet, like they say 1 to 3 a day is ideal, or 3 being obviously ideal, but you should space them out. So knowing that I should upload 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening, that's also sort of like a non-negotiable in terms of the time of day. And then when my clients need me is throughout the day. And then I tend to do my workout from anywhere from 2 to 8 p.m. I could work out. So that's also a non-negotiable. So I basically just insert all the breaks and the other things in between. And that's sort of the day builds itself.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. Because for me, whenever it's like, if I was to make 3 reels or TikToks, I'd be like, okay, this is my filming TikTok time. Like I give myself an hour.
Do that as well.
Okay. I was going to say, like, to film 3 separate times through the day, I feel like my day would get out of hand and I would just probably put it off. But I mean, you have a little bit more freedom in that sense too.
Sometimes I will sit and I will find a few sounds right away, and then I will also be in the mood to film. So I'll just get up and do them. But I'll make 2, like the one. Okay, so I just posted one 2 minutes before that you said, like I said, hey, I'm ready to do it, because I was just like, I finished something and I was like, I have 7 minutes. I feel like I need to decompress, but why don't I intentionally scroll? And I found one and I was like, oh, this is one that I could prop my phone right here. And I did it. And then I uploaded it in 7 minutes. And now here we are.
Nice.
So I was able to do it then. Sometimes I lay on the couch and I intentionally scroll and I find a few sounds and I'm able to film 2 in a row, but I shouldn't upload 2 in a row because I said they should be spaced out. So I'll upload 1 in the moment and then I'll save that second one for the afternoon. But I know by the evening, I still need 1 more.
Fair.
Ideally, I get to a place where I have 28 of them in my draft.
I was gonna say,
yeah, but it's I haven't caught up like that far yet.
You're building momentum on it, which is good. That's key, right? You've started it and it's just getting better from here. Yeah.
I will admit I'm still living. What's it? Are you running your business or is your business running you? My business is absolutely running me still because which is fine because I'm keeping up, but I don't have any Instagram posts pre-set. I don't have any posts for my client Facebook group pre-written. I wake up and I'm like, shit, I should probably be active in my client group. So let's go post something. But I want to get to a place where I have more than enough already in the drafts and pre-published. That just means me doing even more than I'm doing now. And I don't know how to do that.
I mean, from experience, it's more like intentional. Like this is like this time at this time. Like I'm already into May's content for Instagram just because that's how I am. I have something big coming out in May. I'm like, I have to be ahead of things, and which is good now because my son's going to virtual school starting next week, which really like puts a thorn in my workday because normally from 9 to 4, 9 to 3, he's gone. Yeah. So I have to kind of be like that, and I enjoy it because I get a bunch of work done. It's planned, it's set, it's ready to go, and it's on to the next thing.
So then, if I may, do you like if you set aside 3 to 6 hours, or you tell me what you set aside to write content so that you're writing a full week, like a 2 weeks in April, you've done in 3 to 6 hours. You just write post, done 15 minutes. Post, it takes you 20 minutes to do that one. This one was quick, 7 minutes. This one took 35 minutes, and it adds up to 3 hours or 6 hours that you've written 2 to 3 weeks of content. On that day, do not find that you are not able to get your workout in or you're slacking on other things. So I feel like I'm spending my time evenly every day, whereas you sound like you're blocking a big part of one day. And then, so are you losing out on the others?
So what I've started to do, and I used to be like you, whereas I was trying to do all the things all the time. and it stressed me the hell out. So now it's like Mondays client check-ins, the main focus. That's the one thing. Tuesdays I usually record podcasts, solo episodes or interviews if it works out. Wednesdays it's like a study day where I don't have to worry about writing unless it comes to me. I just study books. Thursdays is a writing day. I have bigger blocks of time. I'm now getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30. So I have time before everyone wakes up. I have time once everyone's up. And then Fridays, like programming, getting people's stuff ready for future. So it makes it a little bit less stressful where I'm not trying to do all the things all the time.
Right.
And like I said, I mean, my Instagram schedule is very easy right now where every Wednesday is a podcast post. I have one testimonial or before and after happening every week. So those are easy to write. That's not, and then some of them are recycled and some of them are just like, it takes me 5 minutes to write a caption now at this point. It gets
I'm getting better at it, but
yeah. Still. Once you get in the groove and the ideas just flow through your brain, it's just like, okay, this is just kind of a pattern. Yeah.
Yeah. I like what I do now, but I'm open to other ways of doing it. And so I wouldn't mind putting off a whole few hours to do a bunch of, what do they say? Batch creation.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. It's helpful.
I can see the benefits of that.
Well, we can hop on a call like you and I and talk about it if you want in the future. Yeah. Strategies. I have a hard stop at 4. I got to go live in my Facebook group, but before we go, obviously let everyone know where they can find you.
Cool. So you can find me on all of my social networks are the same name. So it's Mike, M-I-K-E-A, and then Macdonald is M-A-C-D-O-N-A-L-D. So it's Mike A. Macdonald. Facebook.com/Mike A. Macdonald. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I have one, but it's there's nothing on it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? No. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
That's it. I'll put all the links in the description anyway, for sure. Awesome. Thanks so much for taking time today, Mike.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. This was
awesome, man. Good chatting with you.
You too.
Take care, man.